these are the class codes. It's different directory than the projects. So you can also pull up your class codes directory and do this demo here. Okay, so it's a list underscore demo dot py, and maybe I can create a list and give it a name, U-Haul equals, and now this container contains A, B, maybe some values, 14.65 or D. Okay. Now first of all, what I'm trying to do is accessing element. So when I write U-Haul, and if I write 3 here, what do you think will it return? If I enclose this and print, when I run this code, what do you think will it return? What should it print? Yep. So starting from 0, 1, 2, and 3, it should print 14.5. Okay? Now let's see how we can modify element. So if I write U-Haul and let's say 4 equals Z, or maybe give it a word Z, which element is going to be replaced? Which element is going to be replaced? Which value is going to be replaced? The letter D, the last one, because it's being at the index number 4. Okay? So let's say, let me also write F, updated state of U-Haul, or maybe keep it short, updated U-Haul after modifying element. And how can I insert it? By using curly braces and write the name of the variable or the object. Okay. Let's see when I run this again, or maybe I can also write initial state of U-Haul and then run it again. So this was the initial state and the updated U-Haul after modifying element. So D was replaced with Z. What do you think will happen if I replace this index value with 5? What do you expect? Okay, so first of all, what we are trying to do is we are telling Python that we want to modify the value at index 5. Is there any element at 5? So it will throw off an error. It should throw off an error that we are trying to access an element which does not exist. Okay, so list assignment index out of range. So index out of range error only arises when you're trying to access an element which does not exist. Okay, or you're trying to access an element beyond the index range. Okay, so the modifying elements we have discussed. Let's talk about adding new element and how we can add a new element using what method? Append. And what we want to add, maybe new element. Where is it going to be added? The end. Sorry. So updated U-Haul after adding element, and let's say we run this. What? Sorry, I did not modify this for. List underscore demo. So you see, that was the last state, and when I added a new element, it added at the end. I can also insert inserting element at certain index. So instead of append, I would be using insert method. And when we are using insert method, again, we need to specify where do we want to insert. Okay, let's say we are inserting at location 3 and we want to insert, let's say, ABC. So where do you think is it going to be inserted? So this is the last updated state of U-Haul box. Where will it be inserted? After what element? Yes?
Will be after 14.5.
0, 1, 2, 3. So 14.5, it will insert here, and the 14.5 will be moved towards right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And we can also, updated U-Haul after inserting element. Let's see. You see, it inserted ABC at this point, and everything else, all the element was shifted towards right. So we have talked about appending, inserting, let's say pop method. Am I going too fast? Okay, so let's say removing element from the end, and U-Haul is the container where we want to remove an element, and I would just run a pop method without specifying anything inside these round braces. So once I run this method, I need to check what is the state of, what is the updated state after removing element using pop. So if I run this again, you see this new element was removed, and this is the current updated state. So when this new element is removed, it also returns this value, which I can catch here, maybe rm underscore value equals this, and I can see what is the removed element. F removed element is rm underscore value. Are you guys following what I'm doing? So this value that is removed, I caught it in this variable because it also returns the value that is being removed. And what I'm now doing is I'm trying to check what is the value that was removed. And you see, after printing the updated state, I'm printing the removed element is, this was the removed element, new element. Question? Understand? So I can modify this pop method by specifying the value that I want to remove, let's say 3. So what value do you think will be removed from this state? What value will be removed? ABC. And again, I'm catching this here, so it should be displaying the removed value. See? So we were able to remove a specific element from the particular index, and the removed element is also stored in this variable rm underscore value. Okay. I now finally want to demonstrate the remove method, and U-Haul again, remove. What I want to remove is, let's say, just like to show you that. So instead of adding new element, I'm adding 10 here again. Updated U-Haul after removing element using remove. Okay. So see, that was the state of before running this method remove, and when I removed value 10, it actually picked the first value 10 and it removed the first occurrence of this value that I specified here. So it reads from left to right, it picks the first occurrence and remove that one. Okay, so you see the last one is still there. Okay. Any question here? What if the next question could be like whether remove function also returns the value like pop function? So you can test it out yourself by again doing this remove element and then using the same value here, rm underscore element. So if this method returns the remove value, then it should be stored here. Okay. Otherwise, what do you expect to print here? What do you expect it to be printed here? When function is not returning something, it returns what? Huh? No. So we discussed this. When we do not have any return statement in a function, what it returns? None. It returns none. So it means that if this method is not returning the removed value, it is still returning something which is none. Okay, let's see what it returns. And you see, it returns none, which means that the remove method does not return the removed value. Pop method returns the removed element. So that's a difference between pop and remove. So in pop method, you specify the index at which we want to remove the value. Okay? In remove method, we specify the actual value to be removed. Make sense?